Welcome back to the Cheating Tales Lab. First of all, a huge thank you for helping us reach 5,000 subscribers. Thank you all for your amazing support. To celebrate, we're launching our second channel, Infidelity Tales Lab, where you'll get one-day early access to all our stories plus exclusive, original cheating wife stories you won't find anywhere else. You can subscribe now by clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment, or simply search for Infidelity Tales Lab on YouTube. Don't miss out. Subscribe and listen to exclusive stories. You won't regret subscribing. Now let's begin the story. Sergio Woodruff's knuckles whitened as he gripped the steering wheel of his sleek black BMW. The 38-year-old criminal defense attorney sat motionless in his driveway, his piercing blue eyes fixed on the front door of his suburban home. He'd cut his business trip short, returning a week early after receiving an anonymous tip about his wife's infidelity. The words of the caller echoed in his mind, each syllable a dagger to his heart. As he finally stepped out of the car, the cool evening air carried an unfamiliar scent, a cologne that didn't belong to him. Sergio's jaw clenched, his suspicions growing with each step towards the house. He inserted his key into the lock, the slight tremor in his hand the only outward sign of the turmoil within. The door swung open, revealing Trisha lounging on the living room couch. Her eyes, wide with surprise and a flicker of guilt, met his. "Sergio, you're home early," she exclaimed, her voice a pitch too high. Sergio didn't respond. His gaze swept the room, noting the hastily straightened cushions and the lingering scent of that foreign cologne. Without a word, he headed upstairs, his footsteps heavy on the carpeted stairs. The bedroom told the story Trisha's lips wouldn't. Rumpled sheets, hastily smoothed but still bearing the imprint of two bodies. A man's watch on the nightstand, definitely not his. Sergio picked it up, examining it closely. An expensive piece, no doubt belonging to someone who wanted to impress. As he set the watch down, his mind began to race. Years of courtroom experience kicked in, his emotions giving way to cold, calculated thinking. He wouldn't give Trisha the satisfaction of an emotional confrontation. No, he would handle this with the same precision he used to dismantle witnesses on the stand. Sergio took a deep breath, steeling himself for the performance of a lifetime. He would play the role of the unsuspecting husband, all while gathering the evidence he needed to ensure Trisha would regret her betrayal. Over the next few days, Sergio maintained a facade of normalcy that would have impressed even the most discerning jury. He kissed Trisha goodbye in the mornings, made small talk over dinner, and even endured her attempts at intimacy with a rehearsed smile. All the while, his mind worked overtime, plotting his next moves. In his office, Sergio placed a call to Frank Delgado, a private investigator he'd worked with on numerous cases. "Frank, I need your services." "It's personal this time," Sergio said, his voice low despite the privacy of his corner office. Frank's gravelly voice came through the speaker. "Sure thing, Sergio. What's the job?" "I need surveillance on my wife, Trisha. I suspect she's having an affair," Sergio replied, the words tasting bitter in his mouth. "Damn, I'm sorry to hear that," Frank said, genuine sympathy in his tone. "I'll get right on it. You'll have eyes on her 24/7. With that piece in motion, Sergio moved on to the next. Under the guise of upgrading their home security, he installed hidden cameras throughout the house. The irony of using his technical skills, honed from years of reviewing surveillance footage for cases, to catch his own wife's infidelity wasn't lost on him. As the days passed, Trisha grew bolder in her deception. "I'm working late tonight," she'd say, pecking Sergio on the cheek before heading out, dressed in an outfit far too provocative for a marketing meeting. Sergio would nod, playing the role of the distracted husband perfectly. Later, he'd review the footage Frank sent him, his face a mask of cold fury as he watched Trisha and her lover, now identified as Cody Case, a junior partner at her firm, entering a hotel. At work, Sergio channeled his pain and anger into his cases. He threw himself into a high-profile defense, his arguments more cutting, his cross-examinations more brutal than ever before. His colleagues noticed the change, attributing it to professional drive rather than personal turmoil. "Sergio, that was incredible," Angie, his loyal paralegal, gushed after a particularly grueling day in court. I've never seen you so focused. Sergio managed a tight smile. Just doing my job, Angie. We can't let up now. Can you stay late to go over tomorrow's witnesses? Angie nodded eagerly, always ready to put in extra hours for the firm's star attorney. As they worked into the night, Sergio found a small measure of comfort in the familiar routine of case preparation, even as his personal life crumbled around him. The neon sign of O'Malley's bar cast a sickly green glow over Sergio's face as he nursed a glass of scotch. Across from him sat Gerard Pace, his best friend since law school and now a respected detective. The bar was their usual haunt, a place where the lines between their professional worlds blurred. "So, you're sure about this?" Gerard asked, his voice low and concerned. Sergio nodded, sliding a manila envelope across the table. "See for yourself." Gerard opened the envelope, his eyes widening as he flipped through the photos of Trisha and Cody. "Jesus, Sergio. I'm so sorry, man." "Save it," Sergio said, his voice hard. "I don't need sympathy. I need a plan." Gerard leaned back, studying his friend. The Sergio he knew, always composed, always in control, was still there, but there was a new edge to him, a dangerous glint in his eye. "All right," Gerard said finally. "What do you want to know about this Cody character?" "Everything," Sergio replied, taking a sip of his scotch. "His history, his weaknesses, his dirty little secrets. I want to know it all." Gerard nodded, pulling out his phone. "I'll make some calls, pull some strings." "But Sergio, it's not too late to confront Trisha. Try to work things out." Sergio's laugh was cold and humorless. "Work things out? No, Gerard. She made her choice. Now she'll face the consequences." Over the next hour, Gerard's contacts came through. Cody Case's history unfolded before them. A string of workplace affairs, financial irregularities cleverly concealed, and a reputation for climbing the corporate ladder on the backs of others. As the information poured in, Sergio's mind whirred, fitting the pieces into place like a complex legal strategy. He could use this, all of it. "Thanks, Gerard," Sergio said, standing up. "I owe you one." Gerard grabbed his arm. "Just be careful, okay? Don't do anything stupid." Sergio's smile didn't reach his eyes. "Stupid? No. Calculated? Absolutely." The next few weeks saw a transformation in Sergio. The pain of Trisha's betrayal became fuel, driving him to reshape himself into a man with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Every morning, long before the sun rose, Sergio hit the gym. He pushed his body to its limits, each rep, each mile on the treadmill a step further from the man Trisha had betrayed. His once soft lawyer's physique hardened, becoming lean and muscular. At the office, he worked longer hours than ever before. Cases that once seemed unwinnable crumbled before his relentless assault. Plea deals were struck, evidence suppressed, juries swayed by his impassioned arguments. Angie noticed the change, her admiration for Sergio growing with each passing day. "You're on fire lately," she commented one evening as they prepared for yet another trial. "I don't think I've ever seen you this intense." Sergio paused in his review of witness statements. "Life's too short for half measures, Angie. We either give it our all or we don't bother at all." As Sergio remade himself, Trisha remained oblivious to the storm gathering on the horizon. Her affair with Cody continued, her lies becoming more frequent and transparent. One evening, as Sergio sat in his home office reviewing case files, Trisha entered, wearing a silky nightgown. "Honey," she purred, "why don't you come to bed? You've been working so hard lately." Sergio looked up, his eyes cold as they swept over the woman who had once meant everything to him. "I'm not tired," he said flatly, returning to his work. Trisha's face fell, confusion and unease flickering in her eyes. As she left the room, Sergio allowed himself a small smile. The pieces were falling into place. Soon, very soon, he would be ready to make his move. Sergio Woodruff sat in his office, his piercing blue eyes fixed on the computer screen before him. The glow illuminated his face, now leaner and more angular from weeks of grueling workouts. His fingers flew across the keyboard as he methodically emptied the joint accounts he shared with Trisha. He paused, a smile playing on his lips as he watched the numbers dwindle. This was just the beginning. With a few more keystrokes